The intended use of this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the host and guests independently, and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Updog Challenge Incorporated, its sponsors, or any other partnered organizations. Updog Challenge Incorporated does not guarantee the accuracy or reliability of any opinions expressed. In no way should the information provided during the Sweet Spot and Updog podcast be considered veterinary, medical, legal, or professional advice. At all times, the advice of your personal professional should supersede any information provided, derived, or inferred from listening to this podcast.
Ready, set, go.
Welcome to the Sweet Spot, an Updog podcast. I'm Andre Morissette.
And I'm Jack Bailey. We are your hosts today. No guest today, but a fantastic topic. I think you guys will be excited about this one. Dre, our topic is?
Well, we're going to sort of make you the guest today because you're the most knowledgeable about today's topic. So today's topic is new game ideas, and Jack, you're the game master. So what the game master means is that basically Jack is the guy who writes the rules, finalizes the rules, structures the format of all of our Updog games, and a lot of the times he is the inspiration behind our Updog games. So he's also the one that collects and organizes any game ideas that come from anybody else, whether that's one of our founders or it's any of our players. Any of the game ideas that we have coming in for Updog, they go to Jack, our game master. So today I'm primarily going to be asking the questions and he's primarily going to be answering them. So we sort of have a Jack guest day today.
I'm excited to be the featured guest today.
You get to be the featured guest today. All right. So let's start with a little bit about what this episode's about. So over the years, we've had numerous people reach out to us with different game ideas. And most of the time, these ideas are just passing conversations on Messenger or Updiff. But a couple people, however, have actually submitted like written out, formatted, structured game ideas. And so as we think about what game we're going to launch next, because, we're always growing, of course, we're going to have games come and go. We want to leverage all the creative ideas that you guys have to offer. So we want to make sure we have a platform for you to be able to communicate game ideas to us in a way that works. At the same time, we can help people get acquainted with the new game rules and formatting. So why do we need a new game rules format, Jack? Tell us a little bit about that.
So sure. So, our Updog started in 2014. We started with 3 games, Fragility, Throw and Go, and 4-way play. And, 10 years ago, we had thoughts in our head about how things would work. And throughout the course of the last 10 to 12 years, we've created other games. We've created level 2 games. And along the way, like these rule documents got created, but they weren't all created at the same time. So they don't all have quite the same structure. They definitely don't have the same verbiage and sometimes we use this phrasing to describe something and sometimes we use a different phrasing. And they've all gone through
too. Like we ask our players to break our games. So there's a lot of spots in our games where we've struck through and then clarified the rules. So it's a little bit messy too to look back and some rules have strike through parts and have been edited to have different verbiage. But then again, maybe in a different game that wasn't adjusted.
Yeah. So we just felt like it was time to make sure that they all have the same formatting, to make sure that they're easy to read, easy to understand. I have a tendency to write in narrative form, like story form. And so I just start writing a paragraph and just keep going. And then another idea hits me in my head and I'm like, oh, and if this situation comes up, then do this. And I know that's probably not the best way to have a rules document. Rules documents should be more like bulletized, very quick, succinct. And that's not my style of writing. And so I got some folks to help me that are better about making sure that things are as concise but also precise. So we want our rules to be precise but also nice and short and succinct. So we've broken our rules down into sections so
Okay.
they're very easy to understand. And also we wanted like if you're flipping to the rules, we wanted the most essential information to be like bam, like right out in front of you, like, hey, this is what you need. This is the essentials of this game. And then if you need to dig into the details are there, but they're going to be further down the sheet. And we wanted all of our games to kind of have that same feel. So we created sections for our rules documents, and in typical Updog form, they've got to be like, kind of catchy and have some cool graphics to them. So again, I had some of our Updog folks help me out with this, and we have a template that has been shared with our host um, Facebook group, and we got feedback from the Updog host group. And so this has already kind of gone through like a first run of people looking at it. In January 2026, which is probably when this podcast is going to come out
Right.
at the very beginning. So in the month that you're hearing this podcast, you should see the new rules documents come out. And what this has to do with the collecting new game ideas, by the way, I'll get to, is it's connected to the new game ideas because when folks submit a new game idea, we're going to have you submit in this new format. So why don't I pop up the new format, Dre, and I'll
That
kind of
sounds
show it
great,
to
Jack.
you. You're like, I've been waiting for you to do that,
I
but
know. Bring up the
you just been
pictures.
talking.
So there's a benefit of those people watching the podcast. You could see this document. For those of you that aren't watching the podcast, we can explain what's on the document.
All right, can you see my document?
Yep. So what it looks like is a PDF page, and it says Fireball Rules Level 1, and then it tells you how many discs you can have. So
So
times 8. It says the scene
So
is
the
the
very
first
first
section.
section, yeah, is called like the scene,
The
like
scene. So like
setting
the
the
field.
scene.
Setting the scene. Okay. So it's 8 discs, 60 seconds, and then it shows the map of the field for Fireball. So across the top of the screen, for any of you guys who aren't on the visual podcast, there's a graphic on the left that has a little disc with a times 8 on it. So you'll know just by glancing at the score sheet that you get 8 discs, 60 seconds, and then it gives you a look of what the field looks like with all the numbers of the scoring zone. So if you're playing this game and you don't remember which side 7 is on or 5 is on, you could just look real quick at the map before you play, and it'll give you a quick reference, kind of like a cheat sheet for the game.
These black squares here,
Are the
these
judges?
are the judges' locations. So locations for the judges are right there.
Okay, and then it says below that the game field. Okay, so it tells you that it can be played on a 3x3 field, which is really cool. That's super useful for people that are playing in a smaller area. So if you are only have the space for a 3x3 field, you could go through all of our games and check out the game rules page and know right away pretty quickly whether that's a 3x3 game or not. So the game field, 30 yards by 20 yards by 3x3 field, may be oriented with the throwing zone at the opposite corner of the 3x3 grid. Yeah, and it just has some tips of how to set up the field, and there's the you could see the little circles where the player is supposed to be standing, or it shows they can also be standing on the other side. There's a dotted
And
line on the other side if they can switch.
the pink dots are where you would lay your field
Cone.
cones.
Yeah.
So what happens is, so this is another reason why we wanted to get these in a better format and to make sure that they are like when you show up at an Updog event in Chattanooga,
Whoop, whoop.
you should have the field set up for Fireball with the cones, with everything should look the same as if you showed up to a competition in Tampa. The
Mhm.
judges should be standing in the same spot. Like
Yep.
everything should feel the same so that when you go to one club, you're not like, oh, well, at this club, they don't put down cones, or at this club, they put down cones, but they put them over here. That way, every player knows exactly what to expect. If you travel and you go to different events, you're not thrown off by something. And so we're trying to create that consistency across not just our rules documents, but by creating consistency in our rules documents, then hopefully we're creating better consistency for you guys as players as you travel and go to different events.
Yep. All
All
right, so
right, let
that's
me
the
move.
scene. That's the top part. So he's going to scroll down now. In the very top, it shows the scene. The second section, it looks like it's called the skinny. And the skinny said, "Oh, the skinny is the objective of the game." Is that right, Jack? Yay.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
basically like if somebody were to ask you what's Fireball about, like what you'd tell them in, 1 to 3 sentences.
Yeah. So this one says get one catch in each of the 8 score zones as quickly as possible and take advantage of the fireball bonus time to double your points. Great. So it looks like it gives you a real quick summary of the game. And then below that are more details, like Jack was alluding to earlier. The next section is called the specs. And it looks like it breaks it down into more detail. So dog and handler must start in the throwing zone. The handler will signal the line judge when they're ready. And then blah, blah, blah about that. The handler and the dog have 60 seconds, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's like how the game actually works. Okay, so stop moving it. It's too fast. And then after that, it says fireball bonus time because that's important for this game, right? It
And
starts talking
these are
about,
all still the specs. Like the specs is gonna be a pretty
yeah, it's
good
how you play
chunk
the game. It's the
of the
main
rules.
rules. And then how the sweet spot bonus works, and then how the scoring works. All right, great. And then scroll down. Fine print is the next category, and that's all the little details, right? The little things that are the could go this way or could go that way type of little rules.
Yeah, every
Tie
time that you
breaking.
guys send us those crazy situations that we haven't thought of, those will end up finding their way to the fine print.
Yeah, so there's tie breaking, and then below that is the goods, the achievements. This is much, much easier to follow. Dumpster fire, that's great.
By the way, this is the very first time that anyone has seen which achievements actually made the final cut for Fireball.
Dumpster
Um,
fire. Drop it like it's hot. Hothead, firefighter, disco inferno, the flamethrower, pyromaniac, and Mr. Worldwide.
by the way, this rules document, this is our sample. Fireball is kind of our sample rules document that we had sent out to our host club um, Facebook page. And you can find this sample Fireball rules document in the club resources folder under game rules. It will be listed as Fireball rules in the new format. So if you would like to take a look at it yourself, you can find it there, and I will link it in the comments to this podcast. So, any questions about our rules document there, Dre? Oh,
I mean,
wait, we're not even done. Sorry.
oh, there's
We got
more.
the achievements, and then if you go
Oh,
down to, whoops, sorry.
judge's notes. That's a lot. All right, so there's a whole judge's notes in the bottom. So if you're judging one of these games, this is great, Jack. 2 judges are required. Shows where they're supposed to be, how you call the game, what words you're supposed to use, so that it's consistent. Documenting the score sheet, how exactly to mark the score sheet, what type of ticks, and it has, the cross throughs and the circles, and then it has an example score sheet on here. This is great.
And
Work,
that's
Jack.
it. So yeah, we
Much
we felt like
clearer.
so the whole judges notes thing is a new component to the rules document. But again, to maintain consistency, like if you're going to one event and they call out four-way play, one way, and then you go to another event and the judge is calling it completely differently, as a player, that can confuse you, that can throw you off.
Yep.
So again, we want to have everything be as consistent as possible. So when these new rules documents come out, Dre and I will be hitting this up, I'm sure, on some other podcast topics in 2026. But as these
Yep.
new rules come out, some of the things that perhaps you have done will need to change in order for you to maintain alignment with the rules. Some of the things that I did have to change because, we talked about it and I said, well, this is how I call the game. And Jason has said, well, this is how I call the game. Or Dre has said that. And we've also talked with other Updog people, tried to come up with the way that we feel is the best and or the way that most people call the game and put that into the rules document, which means that if you're not calling the game that way, you will need to change. We're going to do this for the benefit of our players to maintain consistency.
All right, good. So all of our rules are going to be cleaned up and organized and polished into this format sometime launching in the month of January 2026. Accurate?
Yeah, and they'll probably come out little like I
At a
don't
time,
know that
a game at a
they're all
time or
going to come
whatever.
out at the same time. We might put them out, and Dre, I think it'd be great maybe
Yeah.
to do a
We'll
podcast
break our
as
games.
they yeah, as they come out so that people know like what are the changes, what are the new things in four-way play or fragility or whatever.
And it'll be a lot easier to find errors if we're doing it one game at a time than if we're doing the whole thing at a time. So, all right. So
Yeah.
now
And
that we have this, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
Okay, so now we know that we're going to have all this new rule structure. What's this thing I'm hearing about new game idea contest? So how does
All
that
right.
fit into this conversation?
So did this just pop, did the screen just change for you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So essentially, I created a template of the new rules document. So just like Dre said, over the years, people have said, "Hey, Jack, I've got a great idea," or maybe they tell another team member, and it's been kind of like just very like uh, I don't know,
Willy-nilly.
haphazard, willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly.
Okay, yeah, loosey-goosey, all of those things, and so sometimes those ideas have gotten lost because someone told them to me in the middle of updiff, and by the end of updiff, I didn't remember what they said, or maybe it was in a Facebook chat that sounded like a good idea, and then that Facebook chat got lost, or whatever. So we don't want to lose these good ideas, but and also we want to give everybody the opportunity to submit great ideas. We know that there are some great ideas out there for new games. We know that some clubs actually have tried out ideas for new games and have already beta tested them. And there's a couple people that have actually sent me like complete rule documents
Crazy.
with the rules. And so I just thought, it's winter time. A lot of times people can't get out to play their dogs. They got
They
more
got
time,
extra time.
extra time stuck in the house. So I thought, wouldn't wintertime be a great time to let folks know if you've got that great idea for a game, put it down in this new rules format, write it up. So you see here, you just put the title of the game up at the top. You put your name as the person submitting the game, your home club if you've got one, and then your email. And then what I've done is I've broken it down again, just like the example that we just saw and Dre just went over with the scene, the skinny, the specs. And I've got a brief little description there so that you remember what goes in those sections. And so what we want you to do is between now and March 31st, you have between now and March 31st to submit a game idea, and you need to submit it in this format. And I am going to create a folder and I will link it in the comments for this podcast episode to a folder where you can drop your ideas. Okay, so at the very end of the rules document that you are filling out,
There you
you'll
go.
see some notes. It says, lastly, create a blank score sheet. So you need to submit two things: a rules document in the new format and a score sheet. Save both of those into the folder that I'm going to link for you. And then at the end of March, well, we'll probably look at them as they come in, but at the end of March, we will approve all of the ones that have come in the proper format. We're not going to approve them because we look at them and go, oh, I don't like that one, or I like this one better, or whatever. If you submit them in the proper format, it's easy to read, the score
Mm.
sheet makes sense, then we are going to approve all of those for gameplay, beta gameplay beginning, I think I put the date there.
Well, it doesn't say. Maybe it'll say it over here. But June
It's
1st. June
June
1st.
1st. Yep, yeah. It is June 1st. So those will be available for clubs to play for 6 months, actually 7 months, right? Yeah,
Hmm.
7 months, starting June 1st through the end of the year. So through the end of the year, clubs will have the opportunity to grab these rules, try them out. Like, I think it'll be really fun. Like, you can add a beta game to each one of your events. And we want clubs to try them out and people to like think about which ones they like the best. Because at
Hmm.
the end of 2026, we will then have some sort of survey or poll where we will ask people to vote on like, hey, which ones did you like the best? Which ones made the most sense? Sometimes you've got a great game, but it might be like really hard for the judge to score or things like that. So we're going to take all those pieces into account. And then hopefully at the end of 2026, we will have maybe a couple games that have kind of risen to the top that people are like clamoring for and going, oh, we need to play, Roaches Gone Wild or whatever this is. I don't know what game names you're gonna have.
That's
I don't
right.
even know where I came up with that. Um,
Bad one.
but what'd you say, Trey?
No, I have a PTSD around roaches. No roaches, please.
I'm
I
trying to think
automatically
what.
mix any game with roaches in the title.
Well, the other thing is too, like when you create your game, try to think of like a theme. You'll notice that especially our later games have a theme to it, like Greedy has a theme to it, Fireball has a theme to it, and then all the achievements, all the graphics and things kind of go with it. And there is a spot for you to put that in the rules document. So if you have an idea like this one is always it's going to be about hippopotamuses and we're going to have all sort of cool like hippo, graphics or whatever, like whatever it is. I don't know. But
A
you
play
guys
on
come up
Hungry
with it.
Hippo. That's going to be our new game is that instead of the dogs
Oh my God,
going
see,
and
that would be a
catching,
cool
they
game.
just have to retrieve discs in as fast as they can. We're not going to have a
Submit
throwing
it,
game. We're going to have a
Dre.
retrieving game.
Write it up. It sounds amazing.
Definitely not my category of game writing. I'm way more of a player than a game creator, but that's what we have you for, Jack. All right, so we're really excited about this. So essentially, we're allowing our players to create games officially, and we're going to test them officially in 2026. And then one or more of those games could end up being one of our official games and one of our updiff games, which is going to boot out Boom, whatever year that is.
Well, we didn't exactly say that which game or even if a game has to get booted out. It will be
Boom.
likely that I think like I don't know what it would be called. I don't know what the right word is. But like it'll be like the
A
McRib. Like
rotation.
yeah. Like
It'll
it
be like
goes
a
away
special
for
feature. Boom is
exactly.
back. Once every
It
five
goes
years, we run
away for a
Boom.
while and then comes back. You see car manufacturers do it, right? Like the Camaro was gone for a while and then it came back and people
The
loved it when it came
Bronco,
back.
the
Yep.
Bronco. I'm wondering when Honda's going to bring that element back, though. That's going to blow up the disc dog world, Jack. If they bring that element back, come on.
I keep hearing like rumors about it, but then it's always just AI. Somebody made an AI version
Yeah.
of it and put it out. It's hard to believe what's real. Did you hear that the Prelude is coming back for real though?
No, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
The Honda
It's
Prelude.
super expensive. It looks
That
cool though, and it's got great performance, but
I was say, is it fast?
yeah. But anyways,
Anyway,
yeah,
we're not
so
talking about cars, so we're talking about rules. So you guys will have games that you can test out in 2026, and then I was actually thinking while you were sharing all this, man, this is a great opportunity to set up a league night with your local group. I'll make like Tuesdays and Thursday or maybe Wednesday nights or whatever, get a couple friends together and set up and test out a couple of the new games and maybe test out, or put a couple of the real games in there and just get your points going, run these little
you could
events
do
throughout the week.
do
You know?
you could do it. You could add one of these to Bike Club. So when
Yeah,
your organization runs Bike Club, throw one of these in as a fun thing at the
bonus
end.
one. Yeah. Yeah,
They
so I think this will be
obviously
really fun.
obviously points won't count until we have decided which games become official games that will take place at Updiff and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That won't happen till 2027, but we need you guys to try these out in 2026, so that we know which ones work really well. I'm sure there'll be some tweaking along the way, which is
Yep.
part of the reason why we have your email, because as we get feedback about the games, we'll make sure that feedback gets to you and you can alter or edit the rules to make it even better. That's what beta testing is all about. But we can't play the games in June, beginning in June, if you guys don't write them. So you've got the long winter coming up. Just
Some
sit
of us
down with
anyway. You don't
some.
have a long winter.
Well, no,
You're
I don't,
you
but
got you
other
have
people
season
do.
coming up. All the southern states have their disc dog season coming up, so you guys can go right out and start creating all your game ideas for in real life, while everybody else, where it's cold outside, we're gonna start creating them in our heads and drawing them on whiteboards and stuff like that. So you got that creative energy this winter. Send it up Dog's way. We would love new game ideas, any inspiration that you guys have, and who knows, we might even combine a couple of the ideas to make something entirely new. So.
Right. Right. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you've got a great idea and but it takes another person to go try it out and add to it to make it the game that it really needs to be. I've got a couple ideas that I am going to put out there when we put out all the games.
Mhm.
They've been sitting around and they're good, but they're not great. And so by putting them out and having people play around with them, I know that they'll be able to make them better than what they
Great.
are. So
Yep.
I'm gonna have a few games out there myself, but this should be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun to read through them, to make them, but even more so to like get out and play them beginning in June.
Yep.
All right, Dre, if
Yeah.
you were a player and a game maker, what questions would you have any lingering questions for me?
I think if I was a player and a game maker, I would have ideas of games already in my head. Like I think that you have a different sort of play idea in your head. You can like picture, I can't picture any games in my head. I can follow rules, but I don't come up with games. My brain just doesn't work that way, right? So if I'm thinking about if I had a game idea, I would probably partner with somebody to talk to work through the rules and stuff. Like you can get together with friends and work on this. You can get together with people in your club. Like for Jack, it might be easy to come up with game ideas. That's completely overwhelming for me to even think about the structure of the rules and points and the field and all that. But maybe you can get together 3 or 4 people from your club and do a collaborative game idea where you guys are going out and writing the rules together as a group. That's what I would think. Like, it doesn't have to be just one person. Like maybe you can get together with some friends. You can also like how would people the creation of the game is such a big undertaking, right? How do people break that into chunks?
Well, hopefully the template will help them, right? So like you've already got these things like I mean, because you do need to decide first, all right? Like what size field is it going to be on?
Right.
Some of the basics of like, just and then basically like what is the game? What are the ideas behind the game? You probably won't get your entire rules document down until you go out and start trying to play it a little bit. Like just like Dre said, grab a small group of friends and play it, try it out. Like, hey, I have this idea to do this tic-tac-toe thing or this hungry hungry hippo thing or whatever. But you're probably not going to have all the rules figured out until you start playing around with it with some friends and their dogs. And then you realize, oh, you know what? We need more than 4 discs. This game is not good unless we have
Yeah.
6 discs or 8 discs or whatever. Or, we need a little bit more time. This is going to be a 75-second game, not a 60-second game. Those kind of things, those are like the pre-beta testing, right? Those are like your small group beta testing before it goes out to the big Updog community. So definitely having a good group of friends, being able to get together again,
Yeah.
maybe you don't even have an opportunity to play it yet, but just sending the idea to other people and just be like, hey, read through this. Like,
Yeah.
what have I not thought of? Or, how many discs do you think this would take?
Yeah.
And they can kind of help you with that.
Yeah, because I just think like you're already good at doing that, and so it's probably pretty easy for you to conceptualize how to do it. I've never done it, and I'm not good at it, and so for me, I'm already completely overwhelmed. but the template is encouraging to me, and that I can work on it with other people is encouraging to me. So I don't feel so overwhelmed with having to like, and I think I'd feel a little bit intimidated to submit a game if it was only my idea. Like I'd feel like I was missing details or something. So for those of you out here that are good at this stuff, run with it, right? But like I'm thinking of it from a perspective of like I wouldn't even know how to get started with something with it. Maybe get together with friends and brainstorm some different ideas and pool together and maybe create a messenger chat on Facebook where you guys can brainstorm ideas before and then have a meetup
Well,
where you can run
and
some different game patterns.
I know Dre, you say you're not good at developing them, but also, you need somebody to go like Dre has good ideas in terms of like, hey, we need a game that's going to help with blankety blank.
A skill
Alternate throws.
development game. Yeah.
She comes up with and says, hey, I think it would be great if we had something that could work on collecting discs throughout the game or whatever. So like sometimes that could be the start of like it may not be I want to think of a game that like fun may not be the first thing that comes to mind. Maybe
It
your
could be a
game
skill.
starts right, game
Okay.
starts with a skill and then you bring in the fun, right? You figure out how to make it a fun game.
Okay, that opened a door for me because the first thing I thought was like, okay, what if we had a game that focused on collection? And then I was like, oh, I could think of a lot of things that would like the dog would require collection in order to do that well. And so I could totally backchain it from there. That was really good. Okay. So we could think about it not just from the fun perspective, which I struggle with to build a game from that perspective, but I could build it from a game skill for sure. Or a
Yeah, and
dog
then
skill.
you just hand it off to somebody else and be like, hey, how can we gamify this? How do we make it
Yeah.
even better? Like, yeah, think about having to do and think about a crossover game where you're doing overs.
If you over the jump, over the human, over the jump, over the human.
I mean,
That's fun. Yeah, these
yeah,
are really fun ideas. All right, good. So it looks like we have two big rule game related things going on that are happening like as soon as the year starts in January, which is when this pod is coming out. So, one, all the rules are going to be put into this new format, and we'll have that sheet available for everybody. And we'll have a link on the drive that's going to be in the comments, so you can fill out a sheet, submit your game ideas, and all that structures on the how to do all of that is on the template for
on the
the
template.
game.
Yep.
Yep. And then so all that's going to be updated in our rules, and I'm sure we'll push it out on the discussion page when that happens, so you guys can go dig in as we release that stuff. And the second thing is when you have game ideas, we're going to let you guys use that same template, but we're going to put a time frame on it. So until the end of March, so that gives us until June to go through April and May. That gives us 2 months to go through all the submissions and then choose the ones that are viable games. And then from June all the way through the end of the year, which is 6 months, you'll have 6 months to beta test all those different games. And then in 2026, we're going to see which of those games we can make one of our official Updog games and boot out Boom for the next 5 years.
I don't know what you have against Boom, Trey, but yeah,
Um,
that is essentially the game plan right there.
I just like to pick on all our Boom lovers out there. Throw them a little love every once in a while. I know you guys love it. But we hope that you guys are still thinking about Updog all winter long because we have some assignments for you.
Yep.
And those assignments are critical to keeping Updog on the edge of having the coolest, funnest games available in Distog. And you guys are the ones that make the difference for us in every single category. Our players are the ones that make the difference every single time. So you guys send us your game ideas. Tell us what you love. Tell us what you want to learn. And maybe you have a game idea and you don't know how to do this framework and you don't have a support around us. You could just send us the game structure and maybe we'll run with it. So we'll see how all that works out. And in the meantime,
This is not normally my thing. In the meantime, be kind
be
to each
kind to,
other and
be kind to your animals.
there you go. You threw me for a loop there. That was good.
That was
All
my
right,
moment. I've
guys.
been waiting all episode for that.
We hope that you have a great winter and productive time putting together these games. If you need anything, you can reach out to your friends, you can reach out to us, and we will help you through it. We will see you next time on the Sweet Spot.
the word on the street. Up dog challenge, it can't be beat. It ain't just fetch, it's a very special game for the dogs and the people. We all shout its name, whether it's a roller or in the air. My canine companion doesn't really care. We're in the up dog zone now. Got that laser focus, making every throw an epic high flying bonus. What's up, dog? We're on the field, sun in the sky, with my best friend soaring, teaching that just to fly. It's the up dog jingle, so come get in the mix for the ultimate teamwork and all the best tricks. From pro and go to freestyle, we're bringing the heat. We're fun, helpful, and a friendly team that can't be beat. So if you love your pup and you love to see the disc really spin, come on down to Up Dog, where the good times begin.
Yeah, where the good times begin.